What's happening, YouTube? Jonathan Perriente, the Education 10 here, coming at you guys with another video. I want to ask you guys to please continue to check and subscribe to my channel for more YouTube videos. Been a while since I've done a video, and I'm happy to be doing one after about a month. And it concerns baseball. Yes, sir. Baseball season returns today, this afternoon. And for the Yankees, it's going to be a very interesting one. 162 games for this year. No 60-game short season like last year. There will be fans in the stands. Limited degree, but fans nonetheless. We didn't see fans in the stands at all in the regular season last year. We haven't seen any since 2019. Yanks are going to have some new pieces on their team this year. They had a pretty good offseason. They made some deals, picked up some pitching that they needed. And the starting rotation is where I'm going to start first, because it's going to be very interesting how the Yankees will tackle this rotation. Masahiro Tanaka went back to Japan. He's gone. Yankees added Corey Kluber, veteran, longtime ace at one point. He was coming off major surgery. Signed him to a one-year deal and pretty much signed him for a cheap. We'll see if Kluber can maybe get back to some of the old Kluber from his days with the Indians. I would love to see if even we get a hint of that Kluber. If the Yankees get that Kluber, then wow, that was a steal. Then you added Jameson Taillon, former Pirate and former teammate of Garrett Cole. He was coming off Tommy John surgery, and the Yankees are kind of slowly going to ease him into the rotation. They won't throw him in there right off the bat, and I don't think they're going to expect him to go deep. So Garrett Cole is going to anchor the rotation. He'll be your Game 1 starter against the Blue Jays tonight. Game 2 will be Kluber. Game 3 will be Domingo Germán, who's coming back from that long 80-game suspension for the domestic violence with his wife. He's apologized for his actions, and I'm going to be very curious to see if the Yankees will get the Domingo Germán that before the suspension really opened up eyes of maybe how good he could be. So he will be the Game 3 starter. Jordan Montgomery will be the 4th starter, and for the moment, Taillon would be the 5th starter. Kind of slowly, again, easing Taillon back. So that's the Yankees' rotation at the moment. The Yankees do have some pieces they can play with. You have Deivi Garcia in the minors. You can always bring him up if needed, should there be an injury or two. And Garcia really showed that he has some good stuff as a starter. I'm going to be very curious to see where the Yanks go with him. The next piece is going to be the bullpen. That's got questions. Ottavino is gone. Dealt to the Red Sox. Tommy Kahnle is gone. He signed with the Dodgers. You're down 2 of your bullpen already. Zach Britton, your key setup man, out with bone chips in his elbow. Going to be at least a month or so with him. Justin Wilson, a new bullpen addition, and he was a former Yankee at one point, but he was a very reliable left-hander. He's out with injury. So you're down 2 of your left-handers. You will still have Chapman. You have Chad Green. But then you have to wonder, Loaizaga, Sessa, Tyler Lyons, Nick Nelson. Do I trust those arms if I'm the Yankees? Chad Green, you definitely can trust him. Chapman, when he's on, yes. But until Britton and Wilson come back to kind of strengthen that pen, it will be interesting to see how the Yankees will close games when they have a lead or etc. So this will be a very interesting challenge, and the Yankees will have at least for the first 6 games, they'll be at home. So they can figure some things out there. And by the way, also, even though Chapman is healthy, he's going to be suspended for the first 2 games following the incident from September where he threw at Mike Brosseau. So the first 2 games, he will serve a suspension. So you won't have Chapman to close games for the first 2. So it will be interesting how the Yankees will kind of weather these little storms before the season even begins. On top of that, the lineup is also going to be a little different. Yankees have no Luke Voit to start the year. He has an Achilles injury. You never like to have injuries like that. Not tendons, not anything like that in your knee. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with how long Voit is out. It's actually a meniscus, not an Achilles for Voit. Meniscus. So you won't have Voit for a bit. Gary Sanchez, is he going to bounce back and finally be that power-hitting catcher he once was when he first came up with the Yankees? He was a guy that could hit home runs. He had tremendous power. But over the last couple of years, we've seen Sanchez strike out, hitting below 200. You never could rely on him in a big spot. He had been struggling behind the plate, couldn't block in the dirt. Seems like pitchers had lost faith in him behind the plate, catching their games. And heck, the Yankees benched him in the playoffs last year for Kyle Higashioka. You'll have Higgy on the roster behind Sanchez should he struggle. But Sanchez is going to have to prove people wrong this year. And I'm going to be very curious to see what Gary Sanchez shows up this year. And I'm sure Aaron Boone will be paying close attention. The rest of the lineup, for the most part, hasn't really changed. The Yankees re-signed LeMahieu. Great. Love the addition. And he's here for the next 3, 4, 5 years. Locked up. Gleyber Torres, he should be fine. Urshela should be fine. You're going to have Jay Bruce replacing Voit at first base. So he made the opening day roster, and that is big. I'm curious to see what Bruce is going to bring to the table. He'll mainly probably be a bottom of the lineup hitter. Maybe that could help Gary Sanchez a little bit. You obviously have Aaron Hicks. You have Aaron Judge. You have Giancarlo Stanton. Clint Frazier. So the Yankees, for the most part, lineup-wise, are going to be okay. I'm curious, though, to see, will this lineup rely a little less on the home run ball and try to be a contact-hitting team? Because that's what you need to win. And this has been bothering me for years. Yes, I know Yankee Stadium is a hitter's park. And yes, I know the right field seats are so enticing to a left-handed bat. I get that. But baseball has kind of evolved now into a game where it's been home runs or strikeouts. We saw that last year. Home runs were flying out of the park last year. This year, at least in spring training, home runs have been down. Will it be down in the regular season? We don't know. But I want to see hitters taking a different approach at the plate. Not just on the Yankees, but all over the majors. You're seeing way too much of launch angle, getting under the ball, trying to constantly swing for the fences every single time. And it never works. The Dodgers won the World Series because they put the ball in play. They don't rely on home runs. They have a fundamentally good hitting team up and down. And if the Yankees are going to be anywhere near what the Dodgers are, they're going to have to do the same thing. And I will be curious to see how they tackle that this year. Some of the same rules are going to apply with doubleheaders, 7 innings. The same rules going to apply with starting a runner on second base if the game goes past 10 innings. So there's going to be pressure in some of these games if you're the Yankees. And how will you respond? How will you go out and really kind of approach these situations? Situational hitting, etc. Well, we're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen. The long grind now begins. 162 games. A little bit of normalcy again. And I'll be very curious to see what the Yankees are going to be. They'll have their pieces coming back eventually. Severino will come back, help that rotation a little more. Voit will come back, my hope. Britton. Wilson, they'll come back, help the pen. So the Yanks are going to have to just be the Yanks. But become a team that can put the ball in play. Don't constantly rely on the home run. And we'll see what the Yankees are going to be for 2021. John Perriente, The Execution 10, saying bye for now.